And it's funny because remember when I say projecting, I know nothing about you except what if we're going into an interview and I'm interviewing you and all you did was send me your cover letter and resume, that's all I got to judge you by. That's all I got to like pick up on who you are is what you put on that paper. And now when you walk in the room, like when I walked in here, I used to do this, Tyler knows this, because I used to do this when I'd walk in and I'd say, okay, you know, here's everybody online, here's everybody here. Tell me about me. What did you see? What am I projecting? And people, it's like, oh yeah, you come from this, you know, you got all this money, you're 30-year this, or this. Like, are you kidding me? You know, I was in San Francisco with hair down to my belt. After I got out of the Navy, I was looking for work. I went into the office there, asking the guy for help at the California Unemployment Office. Mike, you got a choice. He said you can go cut your hair and get a real job, or you can go find a company that'll hire you with hair down to your belt. My first job, Tower Records, where else? You know? But my choice, you know, my choice. I put myself through, you know, college with a wife and 2 kids. I mean, I've lived in my car for a year and a half. You know nothing about me. You know, my mom and my dad's family are all Amish. Okay, I grew up in that. It's like I wasn't Amish, but I grew up in that community. It's like I don't know anything about you, and that's why I say 80-20. Tell me about you, the professional, but give me that 20% about you, the person. Who are you? This helps me to understand. And yeah, when I was recruiting, I'd go in and look at your social media. I can honestly say I never determined whether I was going to hire somebody or not, or interview them or not from their social media, but it helped me to understand who I was talking to. Same thing here. Helps me to understand who I'm talking to. You, the person. Yeah.
I don't know if this is in your area. When you're sending information to a company like a resume and a cover letter, what about ancillary information like a copy of a compliment you got or an award you got?
I think I would roll those out later,
Okay.
Or if I was coming through the side door having a conversation, I might share that.
Okay. But not in the initial
Yes,
application?
yeah. Tyler's not, he's psychic, but not that psychic. He can pick up you got problems, but he can't pick up a resolution. So, where are we at? Where are we going? Oh, good. Telephone interviews. You gotta love them. Telephone interviews. Before we get into this, I'm going to tell you, as a recruiter, hiring manager, I'm listening critically. I'm not looking for bad or dirt, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's how you say what you're saying, the words you use, the inflections you use, the pauses you use, and even the background. Okay? So if the dogs are barking, you know, and the kids are screaming, it's like, please no. Because that's what you control. So you're telling me you're okay with that. Think about this. So, dependable phone number, ensure you got a good connection. How many bars do I have? Well, let's see. Times have changed. Okay? Times have changed a lot. How many bars do I have? Location, quiet, no distractions. Have your cheat sheet in front of you with your talking points. This is great. But the location, you know, I've interviewed people and been interviewed. I've been in, you know, parking lots in Bellevue in my car. I've been in stairwells in parking lots in Bellevue. I've been in janitor closets in Pioneer Square. I mean, I've been interviewed in quite a few places, but they were quiet. And there were no distractions. Okay? And that's what we're looking for. Listen. Don't dominate the conversation, regulate your speech, and don't rush. So when I'm interviewing or being interviewed, I do not talk this fast. But when I'm being interviewed, I don't finish your sentence before you're done. I wait, and then I ask clarifying questions. I'm listening to understand, not listening to reply. Smile. We're going to do a lot of smiling. Okay? Smile comes through your voice. Again, this is what you're projecting online. You know, I've heard people, and I've been in it, we do the basic stuff where I'm talking, and they're kind of just going along, you're thinking everything's good. Then you start talking about the job, and the voice inflection goes up. They're really, you can tell. They like that. They're excited by it. Just be aware. We don't have to be frozen. We just have to be aware. Virtual, test the technology, practice it. And if you've got any problems with hooking up like Zoom or Skype, you come in here. We have a booth in there. We have people that'll come and set you up with that, so you know. But you gotta give them at least a day or two notice. You just can't do it the same day and say, hey, I need that, because they have to be scheduled. But all the offices should have that. You guys should all have that. But again, here we are, virtual interview, location. Quiet, no distractions. The dogs are outside, the cat's upstairs, the other room, the door closed. Don't walk across my keyboard again. What is behind you? My recruiter groups I still belong to, they like bookcases and plants, live plants. Okay.
How will I know the difference?
Out reflection, light reflection. Lighting matters. I've got, yeah, exactly, Diane, exactly. 1 to 2 minutes. 1 is usually pretty good. 2, it's involved, if the answer's involved, but meaty, if that makes sense. Meaty. Lighting, I know, Tyler has a, halo lamp. I've got one at home over my camera on mine. I got a halo one, I got it on Amazon for like $20. When it's dark outside, I turn it up, and when it's, very light like here, I just turn it off completely. I don't need shadows, I don't need to look like something out of dark shadows. And my cheat sheet. Oh, see, there we go. Tyler's got his halo up too. I think those are the best. It's easier to regulate them, It's not incandescent, so I won't get a headache. That's why I wear these. Fluorescent lights. So, cheat sheet. You guys online can't see, but if I said, if I'm at home and my desk is here, and here's the wall, here's my monitors, I tape my cheat sheet up on the wall above the monitors. Why? Because if I'm asking you a question, where do you go to retrieve the information? Your eyes go up. So it's just kind of natural that my eyes go up, but I'm cheating. Okay? But, just things to think about. And then make eye contact with the interviewer, not the image. So here's the image. Here's the interviewer. Okay? I got to be looking at that. So I've got this picture of Johnny Depp that I put over mine. It just takes me up to his face. You can put anybody's face up there. I'm just saying. Put your dog's face up there. I don't care. I'm just saying. Put something up there to remind you that this is where you need your eyes to go, especially if you do something what they're doing nowadays, which is AI does the interview. I've seen people rejected because AI comes back and says you looked away from the camera way too many times, and they think you're looking at something and reading. A lot of people got 2 monitors up, like here. They're talking over here. They're over here, man, on Google giving answers. Okay, it's become very sophisticated. Okay, dress appropriately. Like if I got the bookcases and the plants behind me, I'm probably wearing a solid color, right? Just so I don't confuse, blur in. And then once again, let's smile. We're smiling. We're smiling because it shows your passion. I can see it on your face. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your body language. The lady once told me that she was told to smile all the way, but won't say who said. She was coached to smile all the way through the interview. And I told her that's creepy. I mean, but think about it. Smile when appropriate, but forcing a smile doesn't look natural. And it kind of then distracts me from what we're doing. You got to think about that, right? But again, show your passion, show your enthusiasm, show it in your body language. If you're like me and you use your hands when you talk, use your hands. It's natural. Don't try to clasp them down here and go, because what are you going to do through that whole interview? Sitting there like this? Are my hands clasped?
Isn't that distracting though, if your hands are moving a lot?
Well, it depends on how much they're moving.
Oh.
I mean, if you're going like this all the time, yeah, I'm distracted. But if you're making a point, where you go, okay, do you get this? This emphasizes me saying, do you understand? Am I coming across? Yes.
Question. I've had lots of interviews where I did you virtual. I don't own a laptop. I just have my phone.
Right.
I mean,
FaceTime.
I can't put a background on it and
Nope. All you got is FaceTime. You got a background, right? But it's not distinguishable.
It's not.
But
I'd be like a white wall behind me or something.
You bet. Yeah. Well, you could set it. Get a little. They make those holders. I got one at home. I think. Yeah. like this. You can get one like this for your phone
Oh,
that
yes.
he has here, and set it back like 3 feet. Okay, to get a little more. Yeah, it's doable.
So I read somewhere that it was distracting to use the phone. They recommended you didn't because you can't hold it straight the whole time and it moves and it's
Yep.
distracting to the interviewer.
Yep, exactly. Well, and that's why I say you get one of these, right? Set it back about 3 feet, you're good. Think about it, yeah.
One of the things they used to say in these classes is, you to practice in front of a mirror. You know.
Well, now you can practice in front of your laptop or your phone and capture it and replay it and criticize what, you
Oh, I
know.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can capture it and just say mirror it and do it.
Yeah.
You can see it. So yeah, we start off, we did Zoom, we're on WebEx now, we did Skype. I used to use Skype when I did interviewing. Now we're on MS Teams, we're doing FaceTime, doing Facebook, we're doing recorded video. I send you out an email. I'm the recruiter, I'm in Austin, Texas. You know, I'm looking for people who work remotely. I'm gonna send you this email out. It's gonna have 10 questions. It's gonna have you capture your response. You know, and then you get one edit, and then you hit, you know, save, and then down at the bottom you hit save and submit. When you're done, boom, sends it to Austin. I look at it and I go, really like this person, and I go bang and send it out to 8 different people across the states, and they can watch it at 12 o'clock at night, 3 in the morning, whenever
Is
they
that
want.
common? I've done a couple of those. It kind of, first
It's
one I did, I had
become
no
more
idea.
common with
Oh.
more remote work.
Yeah.
Yep. So, in person. This is where we really get nervous. In person. It's like, do I wear socks? Right? You rush out the door to go to the interview, and it's like you've been in such a hurry that you go, wow, I don't know if I wore socks. It's that, you know, so, you know, the introvert goes, okay, you know, I have a checklist. I have it already. It's what I do. I've got it on here. You'll see it. But the in-person, treat everybody, meet professionally, courteously. When I was at Nintendo, that respect for each other was just the highest you could go. Any place I ever worked, right? And when you came in and Julie, the receptionist, took it and called me, and then I'd come get you, go up, interview, come down, shake your hand, send you out the door, turn to Julie and say, how was that person? That mattered a lot. A lot. It happens a lot. Greet and acknowledge all the interviewers, like you say when you're doing the panel, boom, 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 doing the panel, boom, boom, boom. We have to acknowledge everybody. Hi, how are you? I'm writing down their name on my cheat sheet, right, in my notes, because I asked them if I could take notes. And if they give me their title, I'll write that down too.
Do you
my
send them a thank you
research.
afterwards?
Pardon?
Do you send them a thank you afterwards? After you got
We'll
all-
get there, but
Okay,
yes,
sorry.
you do.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah. When and where to sit. If I'm interviewing you, I've got a tablet, a pen, and a bottle of water. Please have a seat. If they don't do something like that, ask, where would you like me to sit? You know, it shows the person you are, not standing there going. And when? After they sit, I sit. No cell phone, turn it off. We were talking, who was I talking to? It's like, yeah, when I'm being interviewed, I'm out here in the lobby and I'm watching, you know, with my earbuds in, Robin Williams, you know, and because he makes me laugh. So that when, you know, you come out to get me, what am I doing? I'm smiling because I'm laughing. It's a distraction for me. It helps me to let it go. Instead of sit, commiserate, and go, it's like, no, I go, yeah.
The other reason why I have no cell phone is because if you're in the middle of an interview, pretty soon somebody starts calling you or texting you, you don't want to be interviewed right in
Yeah, turn it off altogether.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And trust me, I've been in interviews right in the middle of it where the guy's going, oh, I need to take this, do you mind? It's like, yeah, I don't mind, you're not gonna be here, so I'm not gonna mind at all. Accept a beverage. Know in advance where you're at. You know, like I say, I own a coffee shop. It's like the last thing I'm gonna do is have somebody serve me coffee. Okay, I bring a bottle of water with me in all the interviews. That way, that's taken care of. Just know in advance what you're comfortable with. That's all. Okay, where are we at? Oh, yeah. We're down and dirty. The questions. Hopefully, Stephanie, this speaks to what you were talking about. And give me a specific in here too when we get to that question, and I'll do my best to answer. Tell me about yourself. Why do I ask that? If I'm the hiring manager, I'm the recruiter, why do I ask that?
You get more than what's on the resume? Cover letter?
Probably, I like that. You're gonna give me, you know, a lot of people come back to me when I ask that and say, personally or professionally, I go, you decide. You know what? Shows me what you value, where your values are. I mean, it's a judgment in a way, but same thing. It's like, no, you decide, tell me. It just tells me what you value about yourself. Again, I'm at 80-20. Give me 80% of you, the professional, connecting to this job I've got out here, but also why I like doing what I like doing. When I'm recruiting, you know, I can tell you, you know, I love what you guys are offering here. I've done my research into your company. I see that you're really out into the community also, which is really important to me. And I like the networking, going out into the community. I like building relationships. I like getting to know the people. I like putting a person that's looking for an opportunity into one of our opportunities. I'm not interested in putting a seat in a chair. How long did that take? 30 seconds maybe? Okay, but now you know me. And if you did your research and you went into my LinkedIn, you know, I follow Mel Robbins, Brene Brown, Adam Grant, Simon Sinek, Richard Branson. It's like you also now know me. And one of the questions I always have for the companies, if they haven't told me at the end, how does your company show that it values its people? Because that's important to me. If I'm going to be the recruiter, I need to be the face. I'm the brand. And I need to believe that you've got my back. And what I say is who you are. Because I was only out here roping and branding people, bringing them in, right? And putting them inside here. I'm only as good as what you are then once they come on board. So that better match up. So I have a lot of questions around that. That's my research. But tell me about yourself. Also could be, you look a little nervous. I'm not going to say it out loud, but you look a little nervous. So I ask you that question. Maybe you could use that and kind of relax a little bit. You know, kind of the icebreaker. When I do the job club, I do on Fridays, I do the icebreaker. Sometimes I'll ask the group, if we've got a new group, it's like, they're going to make a movie about you. What's the title and who's going to play you? I'll ask something like that in an interview just to get you to relax. If it looks like you're really, really stressed. Think about that. They made a movie about you right now, at this moment, with your mindset and how you're feeling. What would be the title and who would play you? Think about that. What a long, strange trip it's been, Johnny Depp. Okay? But think about it. Think about that. How does that describe you? How does that describe your mindset? It gives you a look into you. What's your mindset like right now? Why did you leave your last position? Whoa, hang on a second. Diane. Woo. Diane, this may take a minute. Hang on, Diana's got a question. I'm applying for a library page job and came up with the following for the question. Tell me about yourself, what they would be looking for. I consider myself to be highly curious and well organized. I take delight in exploring a variety of nonfiction books, such as Conversations with My Dog and Wild About Weeds. Yep, I love them. Organizing materials brings me immense satisfaction. During my time as a telecommunications technician, I audited, scanned, and organized 26 cabinets filled with equipment, resulting a little long for this, Diane, but I get where you're going. Yes, but yeah, I like that. Depending on you look, am I still holding their interest and attention? You see it in their eyes. But that appeals to me. I'd hired you. I used to have a bookstore over by Camino Island where I'm from, and I've still got 2,000 books in my basement. So I need somebody highly organized to go in and set me up, back up on Amazon so I can sell them. But yes, I mean, you're going the right direction. I would condense it a little more. You might go into ChatGPT and say, take this piece, capture that, go in there and capture that, put it into a Word document, take that piece right there and ask them to condense that and see if they can come up with it. But yeah, I love that. Oh, yeah, I used to go in there a lot. Oh my gosh.
So why did you leave your last position? What kind of stuff did you say there?
Well, why did you leave your last position is like, if you got laid off, say it. I got laid off, okay. It was, if you wanna say, well, there was a budget cut, I got laid off. But if you wanna say, whatever the truth is where I'm going with this. Company moved to Mexico, we all got laid off. Company, sold, we all got laid off.
What if you resigned, you left on your own?
Why?
Will they ask that?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that,
Okay.
you bet.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not bad, I'm not looking for dirt, what I'm looking for is who you are right now and where you're going and why does it match up with this job they have. I need to hear your motivation, I need to hear your passion, especially if you were changing careers. It's easy, I mean, think about that, it's easy, why are you doing this? And it's like, I'm gonna say, well, why did you quit, was it bad? It's like, no, I just decided that I wanted to go a different direction in my life. What does that tell me? You're in control. You're in control of your life and you made a decision. Now back it up. Why are you going this direction? Okay? I'm interviewing here, 7 years ago, next month. Interviewing in here and he's asking me essentially, why do you want to leave recruiting? It's like, bottom line, I've made twice what I make here. So it wasn't a money decision. And that's where he was going. We don't pay as much. It's like, no. It's not that. I'm at a point in my life where I want to be able to give back, and I think I have something that I can offer to give back to people, and this I find to be my purpose now. Okay? So just back it up with where you're going, and then why it connects to that job. Why are you connecting to that job? Yeah.
There could be medical reasons.
Yeah, but we don't want to bring those up.
Oh,
What
is that
about
right?
family reasons?
You bet. Like what?
Well, for example, you left your last job because the commute was too far and you need to be closer to home. And this job offers you an opportunity to be closer to home.
Okay. I'm okay with that. That's clean, but a lot of family issues, I wouldn't say it like family. I would just say, we got to the point where I sat down, if you had a significant other, or you had the family where you said, we sat down and decided that what I was doing was great. I loved what I was doing, but it was too far away. And I needed to find something closer to where we lived. And so we all agreed that I could go ahead and quit my job, if that's what you did, and look for work that was reasonable for what I did in here. And that is you, and this is what I bring. Be able to bring what you bring. Okay? What's the passion? What's the reason? How do they benefit from hiring you? Because this works for you coming to work for them because it's closer. But how do you have what they need to benefits them? That's the point you have to make. Because I'm okay with that, but when we get into family issues a lot of times, then we're out in the weeds. Then we're like over-explaining, yeah.
So a common question I have asked that always stumps me is, like, I've had jobs where I've been there for 12 years, but then I've also had a lot of jobs only for a year.
Mhm.
Is it wrong to say, if they ask me why, to say, I had to do some personal reflection and get some help and I'm in a different place now?
Was it by design, all of those chunks, or was it a reaction?
So, yeah, I
Okay.
did have to do a lot of self-reflecting.
Exactly, but see, that's where I'm at though. Show that you're in control. I tried a lot of
So
different
it's
things
okay
in
to
this
say
intro.
that?
You bet,
Okay.
you bet. And it's like, but be able to show why this works now.
Okay.
And I'm one of those that the truth you give me today is fine, and if it changes in a year, it doesn't change the fact that this was true now.
So is it okay to also say in the sentence that I was unaware of some things about myself and now I'm aware? So they're no longer an issue?
Yeah, as long as you don't have to go out to the weeds to explain that, sure.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's like, again, that self-aware is where we're at.
Okay.
Do you know you, and do you know how I benefit from hiring you? And now tell me why this moves you.
You say, why did you do the
This
job?
new direction you're going to. Yeah, tell me why this moves you now.
Okay.
Because if you said, well, I see that it's in demand and I'm willing to do anything that's in demand, you may change your mind in a month and go, yeah. So tell me that you've done your research and this is good. This is good for you. Tell me why. And I'm there. Just don't go over a minute. Hang on, I got more here. How about if you don't get a raise and work for 6 years? And I still wouldn't say it. I would just say that this no longer worked for me anymore. What I was looking for was a place that maybe I could grow or had a career development paths before me where I could move up. I would focus on that. But I don't want to get into a money issue. Is kind of, I try to avoid that. I don't know. You know, a lot of people are okay with it, I'm not. I try to avoid the money issue because guess what? I come in here and if you work for me for 2 years, but I don't see you doing what I expected you to do, and then in the back of my head, I'm going, boy, is this person gonna move on now because I can't give them a 50-cent raise or a $1 raise or a $2 raise or whatever it is, you see what I'm saying? Let's don't make it about money. Let's make it about career growth. So you gotta kind of reframe it, but make it true. It's gotta be true about you. I hope that makes sense, but I don't want it to be a money issue because that's always in the back of my head. So if somebody comes along and another company offers you $2 more an hour, you're out of here, right? That's what I'm afraid of. Okay?
When you talk about why you left the job, or even why, it's always, I thought, it's not a good idea to put down your previous employer. Try to be as positive so they don't, the new employer doesn't think you're.
Oh, we never diss an old employee,
Okay,
a
good. That's what I
manager, or a
thought.
supervisor.
Good,
We
okay.
come up with what worked for us, what we liked for us back there that brought us in, and now I'm at this point in my life, and what's working for me now is this.
So,
Focus forward.
yeah.
If you need this image and you're stuck with back here, you know, like this didn't work for me, this is not wrong, it's like you're always looking in that rear view mirror, I'm gonna say, okay, challenge yourself. You're gonna drive from here to Seattle on I-90 looking in your rear view mirror. No, I need you looking out the windshield, forward,
That's what I thought. Thank you.
yeah. Hopefully that helps.
It does.
So, what accomplishment are you most proud of? Again, 80-20. I'm really looking for you to say something more around what it is you do and why it works here at this company. But you have to do your research and connect the dots to them, right? But I remember I hired a guy, I asked him in the interview, I said, what accomplishment are you most proud of? He said, I put all 6 kids of mine through school, college. And my coworker went, so? It's like, no. To me, what I heard was, this is my family and I value them and I'm going to do everything I can to be successful at this job to take care of them. Now, when this guy came on, he told me, you know, years ago too, he said, I always check my ego at the door. And what was happening was everybody called him Papa, and he just raised everybody up around him and moved them on. He wasn't concerned with moving up the ladder. He really liked the job that he did, but he grew a bunch of really good people. You know, that was value for us. So that accomplishment was just fine. I've had single moms that have said, put myself through school, got my master's degree. Perfect. Again, I'm going to do what it takes to be successful. Okay, I like that. But I've also had, you know, friends of mine, you know, oh, Clay's on here, I can't say that.
What's the worst?
Survived Vietnam and said, I survived Vietnam, everything after that is fluff, I'm fine, no matter what you throw at me. It's like, so it's your perspective, but it just tells me about you and your values, yeah.
What's the worst answer you got to that question? Like you said, what the hell, I'm not gonna hire this person on that, what accomplishments? Is there anything that was really, not insulting, but you just went, why the heck would that person say that?
I can't think of anybody that I've ever hired that has said anything
Okay.
that I went, you know, because literally it's not a judgment that I make, it's, I'm listening to what you value. So you can answer anything on there and it's gonna be fine, okay? But it just tells me who you are and what you value.
You answered most of the questions that I asked, but one of them that I did, just kind of want to understand why an employer would ask. Because if I put myself in their shoes, it's a weird question, I'm always asked it.
Mhm.
What do you do outside of work? Like, what are your hobbies? Why do they ask that?
Well, do you have hobbies?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that itself says a lot about you.
Really?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have interests other than us. We're not it. You're not just living and dying with us. Okay? I'm not it for you. Okay? Yeah, you enjoy what you're doing and you're good at it, but guess what? I have other things. The other thing that I did, you know, as a recruiter was the more you did, even outside, the more you can do. I find that people that, you know, have their job and do it well and have activities outside of that are really well organized. Okay, really well organized, but it helps add balance to their life, and sometimes some of those things help, you know, reduce the stress.
Thank you, that helps me to better understand how to answer those questions, because I really never understood what they wanted to know.
Well, I'll tell you, it's like, what are your short and long-term goals? You know, I hated asking that because it's like, being as flip as I am as a person, when somebody asks me that, I want to ask them, how long do you plan on being in business? Because can you guarantee you're going to be here for my long term? So what I answer back when I'm asked that is, you know, what are your expectations of me in 6 months doing this job? So when they give me that, then I say, that's my short-term goal, to meet and exceed those expectations, right? Long-term is long, and he asked me that when I came in here. Because, are you going to retire? I haven't used that word. It's relevant, is my R word, not retire. I said, as long as I feel purpose here and I bring you value, I'll be here. Well, it took many, many bad answers to get to that.
I was like, that's a really good answer.
Trust me.
Volunteering plays a big part.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, well, I worked at the food bank for Thanksgiving, you know, passed out
Yep.
food, or, you know, our church has outside activities, and I volunteered.
I got one of
That's a
my
good
best
accomplishment.
jobs at Second Harvest down here.
Yeah.
In between jobs, throwing food in boxes, going out
Yeah.
to food banks.
Right.
The guy who's working across from me was a VP at a bank. We started talking back and forth. He had a friend that was a CEO of a company out here. He started talking about recruiting. He said, hey, call so-and-so. He gave me his name. Call him up and tell him, you know, that I sent you. And I did. And it was like, I talked to him on a Thursday afternoon. I was working on Monday morning. You never know where it's going to go.
Right.
What if you don't have any accomplishments? We just talked about that. Hopefully you got an answer on that. You know? Yeah. I don't need you to have an accomplishment, but if your accomplishment was around the job you did, great. If you worked, you know, full-time or worked 2 or 3 jobs, you know, like my daughter, I could ask her. And she, you know, she's a barista, she's a bar back, she's a personal trainer, and she's going to school full-time. Okay? Those are her accomplishments right there, putting herself through and taking care of herself. I value people like that. But it doesn't have to be an off-the-wall, hey, you know, I solved world peace. You know, no, I don't expect that. But it does tell me about you and what you value. Well, and that's what I was asking, Stephanie, what is your answer to that? What is the circumstance? Left my job because they were pushing me out, treating me horrible, saying policies and procedures changed I didn't agree with. And I said, yeah, so that's where I'm at, is that job no longer worked for me in the direction that they were going, you know? I hired on, and what I liked about it was this, this, and this. I'm looking for an opportunity now that represents this, this, and this, and I've done my research, and you guys have that. That's more important, okay? I understand where you're coming from, but there again, is like we get into this over-explaining what happened, and I think that never really works when we go into over-explaining, because that comes very close then to dissing the past employer or manager. So it's like, okay, it just wasn't the same. They were, you know, they may ask you some specific questions about it then, but they've opened the door then. But keep your answers very succinct and keep them positive to you. You know, I gave it my best shot. A lot of the policies and procedures change. This is what happens a lot when companies merge. Okay? Companies merge, and this happens all the time. Right? They come in, they got new policies, they got new procedures, they got new reporting, they got a new management style. They may even have their vision of a new culture. But you were there for 10 years and everything was great until this happened. You tried it for a couple of months, you gave it everything you got, but it was just not the same. So you quit, you got fired. Whatever the truth was, that's what you say. But it's like, okay, it wasn't working out anymore. It wasn't the same company that I hired into. What I'm looking for is this. And explain what you're looking for and why they match up. That's the crux. You going forward, I hope that helps.
Good answer.
If you quit your job without giving them 2 weeks' notice, can that affect your next interview? Only if you tell people that you quit without giving 2 weeks' notice, because, you know, how am I going to find out?
Won't they contact you?
Sure, they'll contact them, but they're not going to say that.
Oh.
Generally anymore, large companies are going to say, worked in this title from this date to this date, and if you ask them They said they made $60,000, they'll either verify that's true or not. And then if you want to get around what happened, if you're like me and I'm calling up and asking, I'm gonna say, are they eligible for rehire or not? Right?
And if they say
But-
no,
Hang on, hang on.
sorry.
Hang on, no, it's okay, I get on the roll. Hang on. How we help ourselves with that, though, is calling that company up now that I no longer work there, talking to the HR department and saying, when I'm out looking for work, and these potential employers call you to verify my employment there, what are you going to say? Now, if that's one of the key points, is I didn't give them 2 weeks' notice, ask them if they're gonna say that. Because most of the time, the larger companies are not gonna get into that because there's legal problems. Smaller company might editorialize. They might say, yeah, I left here and only gave us 2 days' notice. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but maybe it was that bad and they had to get out. From my understanding, yeah, exactly, Stephanie, exactly. There's too many legal problems there. Let's go to the next set of rock and rollers here. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Don't you just hate being asked that? I mean, really. What's your strengths regarding the job you do? Why are you good at your job? That's all this is. That's my strength. And guess what? If we're in between these jobs, you concentrating on your strength right now is the best thing you can do for you. So do you know what they are? This helps you be you. This helps you convey who you are, where you're going to work. That should be easy. Mine are relationship building, networking, getting out into the community, being the face of the company, learning that I've rejected people before, and 2 months later get a resume in from a friend of theirs that said, hey, you didn't hire so-and-so, but they thought I'd be great. Everybody gets a cookie, okay? I mean, you get a great customer experience, all right? Doesn't mean, I've had people say, but I thought we had a great conversation. I go, we did. We had a wonderful conversation, but understand this. It's not no, it's just not now, the way you're set up and what we're looking for. Okay, so that weakness, to me, a weakness is always, well, I got into the job, the last job, they were looking for somebody who could do Excel. I thought they just meant somebody could plug in data into the spreadsheet. Actually, when I got into the job, they wanted somebody that could write reports, extract reports and write formulas, right? Oh, so what did I do? I went and took an online course. I took LinkedIn Learning. I went into, Tyler's, Excel, digital literacy classes and took the Excel class. Tell me what you did to overcome the weakness. Don't give me something that's a weakness. I have this thing about over-explaining everything. It's my biggest weakness. I'm sorry that I just spent the last 15 minutes answering that question. No, we're not going to go there. It's like, am I going to be honest? Sometimes honesty doesn't help, and this is one of those cases. It's like, and Tyler knows, Mike can't self-edit. Whatever goes through my brain comes out my mouth, okay? I'm not going to tell somebody that. But I may give them an example of how many times have you gone into a job where you've done 100% of the job? No. So what was weak and what did you do to overcome it? Give me that example. That helps because we all have strengths and weaknesses. All of us. I know, I'm sorry if that's news to some of you. But we do. Shame us. Oh. That's Clay. I work with Clay. He's sitting out here right now. He's one of our vet reps, shameless plug. Oh. Thank you, Clay. Now you're thinking maybe I don't want Mike to go out to Fairchild. How would your coworkers describe you? You just heard it. If you went out and asked for references, right? I'm out looking for work, would you be a reference? Okay, that's nice. But then it's also, what did you like about working with me? What did you like about me working for you? What would you think my strength was? What did you think that maybe one of my weaknesses was? Something I could be working on to make myself better. So when you get asked this question in the interview, you know the answer.
When you're getting, what did you call that, references?
Mhm.
So I have several people who have written, that were in management, that did give me good references. How many of those would you, like? does-
Can't have too many.
Okay.
It's just use the appropriate one with the job you're
Or
looking
applying
for.
for,
You
okay.
bet. One that comes closest to that atmosphere, that culture, that job, right? That's where I'm using that. Yeah, you can't have too many.
Okay.
Like on LinkedIn, if you go in and look at mine, I don't know, I probably have 9 or 10 underneath of my LinkedIn profile, but I didn't ask for any. These are people I work for and work with.
They put them on there themselves.
And it's like, well, you know, when I'm feeling low in between jobs, I go in and read those.
Wow.
And I go, okay, I got something to offer. I got some value. I remind myself. Because that's all we're gonna do. When on mindset, I spend a whole 2 hours just reminding you how great you are. Why are you the best candidate for the job? We talked about that before. Best candidate's the one that matches up to that job description and that culture and that management style, right? That's the best candidate. And you've got to be able to tell them, show them with illustrations, the story. Best candidate is the one that comes up with the best picture of doing that job for them. That's you creating that picture with all this knowledge. I don't know if we, anyway. Again, what do you get when you don't get what you want? Experience, right? And I've got a ton of experience from all the mistakes I've made. Right? My new mindset, that's one of the things I bring up. It's, the interviewer was asking Jack Welch, who used to be the head of GE way back when, General Electric. He said, Mr. Welch, he said, how did you grow this company so big, you know, with all of these successes? He said, years of bad success.
Years
Years of
of what?
mistakes.
Oh,
Learning from our mistakes. That's what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake, but what did you learn from it? And then how do I benefit from that? That's where we're at. Why do you want to work for this company? Again, you've done your research. You know why. I match up. You guys are looking for this, this, and this. And it's like, man, I've got that in spades. You know? And let me give you some illustrations of that. Let me give you some stories. That's where we're at on this. This right here, nothing more, again, than self-awareness and where are you going. You've got to create that vision of where you're going. You go, I'm goal-oriented, it's great. Who decided the goal? You are using some other, you know, over here, some person over here. That's kind of the good, bad, and the ugly of the internet, right? You don't see when I read the news and it's like, boy, I'm not as handsome as that, and I'm not as tall as that, and I don't make as much money as that. And it's like, man, we got all this stacking up on us that we look at all day long. But guess what? Reality is you. You bring value. You've brought value before. You're going to do it again. It's just, you got to show that you're in charge of your life. Like what I was getting at with that question. We sat down and made a decision. That's music to my ears. You didn't just say, I reacted and it's like, oh, no. It was like, no, we sat down and talked about it and this works for us. And here's why. This is what you get from me. Know where you're going. So, you know, all this is just start taking and using the STAR technique to all those questions. Practice. And cultivating references, we just talked about it. Zen in the art of references. Right? When was the first time you should have been putting references together? The very first job you had. When's the next best time? Now. Right now. Go out and do it. Here we are. Wow. Okay, Stephanie, hang on. What do I do when I research a company? I start a Google Doc, I copy and paste the job board description, I write any notes about their website, I add his contact name, the info, and if they do, yep. And then I'm throwing it into Chat GPT or Copilot, and I'm saying, here's the job description, here's my resume, here's all this I found out, show me, you know, give me my strengths and weaknesses regarding this job.
and they do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Take his LMS classes, you know, on AI. You'll get there. That's what Tyler does. And they are good. Okay, here we are. We're at that point. Asking them the questions. What questions could you ask? Again, my favorite question I like to be asked when I'm recruiting, and I ask. What does your company do to show that it values its employees?
I like that. I really
Yeah,
like
they
that.
bring donuts in once a week. No, but think about it. If the person that you're asking this of that represents the company can't answer it, I don't want to say it's a red flag, but it's kind of an orange flag. I go, why can't they answer this? Same as if the person that was interviewing you is rude or short or can't answer these things or asks, stupid questions, right? If you were a tree, what tree would you be? I'd be a live one, I wouldn't be firewood, okay? I mean, how do you answer stuff like that?
That's actually a good answer.
It's like, how do you answer stuff like that? That's a reflection on the company. If they're okay with that person being that way and asking those questions, tells me a lot about the company. Okay, do I want to work there or not? Then we go to job opportunity. I might take it because it's the job I need and I keep my skill level up, but I'm still looking for this really good opportunity, right? How would you describe the company's culture? How would you describe the company's culture? I read on the website. I see on social media what you guys are doing, what it looks like. But guess what? How would you describe it? Interesting. What do you like best about working here? What brought you here? Why did you apply here? I like that. Stephanie. Hang on, Steph. No, Steph, at the end of this, when I give you my email address, you just email me your information so I can give you a job search activity credit and then say, hey, Mike, send me the slide deck. And I'll send you a slide deck. Everybody gets a slide deck. Okay. I can't do anything about validating your parking, but I'll give you a slide deck.
She asked, can you print it out?
Hard.
She asked, can you print out the work? One of them she asked.
Oh, if I send it over to her, she can print it out.
Oh, okay.
Sure, yeah, it's not going to be protected. So what do you see as the primary challenges for this position? That's a fair question. What happened to the last person who was doing this job? Oh, this is a new job. Excellent, I like that, you're growing. And it doesn't mean you're growing big, it just means that we've decided we need somebody with these skills. It's like, okay, you're taking a look at yourself too, I like that too. And I ask that all the time when I go through the side door and I talk to other recruiters. What's the biggest challenge? People don't want to come to work here. Why? Well, it's the CFO. Nobody likes it. You get all of these answers. That was a company that I applied for. They had a whole website up trashing the company. When they offered me a job, I said, sure. I liked the challenge. It was really good. What qualities make for a successful employee here? How about a successful employee in this department? Because even here, I'm not doing Tyler's job. Are you kidding me? Tech guy, non-tech guy. Compliance, detail, not detail, right? Job coaching, sure, I do job coaching. Workshop, different qualities in different departments. So go to your department. Yeah, you can do overall for the for the company, but I'm also going to the department. What does a successful employee look like here? And we did a scam and fake job workshop on our LMS where I go in and talk about why do some of these companies, why when people reach out to you, right, and say, hey, I found you online, really like this, fill out this information, I got this information I need from you. What did you just give them? You just gave somebody out here at this company this whole look at competition. Yeah, I'm doing 5 years of, full stack developer, I'm doing it for $85K, I'm over here at such and such a company. You just gave them all free data, right? So we don't do that without going and verifying that that company actually has a legitimate job. We call them, we go in, we look, hey, if it's not on the website, I'll call them and I'll ask. I'll go in the side door and talk to people and say, oh, wait a minute. But it's like, yeah. So yeah, security is a big thing physically and online. Big deal. So what's the next step? If you haven't been asking this yet, but taking care of yourself. Because if they don't offer it up, you've got to do this all the way through. This is what this is all about. So, closing the interview. We're smiling again. We just had the time of our lives. This has just been great. All right? You thank the interviewer or interviewers. Be clear about the next step. Demonstrate enthusiasm for the job again. And ask for a business contact. You can go out here to the front and ask for our business cards. That's fine, it's there, it's the state, we're behind at times. but I'm after contact. Okay?
And did you say if you get the contact and the card, you can send them a thank you note after the interview?
You betcha, we're going there now. Here we are. See? Thank you.
How about an email? I always follow
Oh.
with an email.
If
saying
somebody
thank you
reached
for
out
your
to me in
time.
text to set up the scanning, you know, the phone screen, 20, 30-minute phone screen, I'm thanking them in text. If they send me the email to bring me in and talk to the hiring manager, I'm thanking them in the email. If I'm coming in and I'm in person, like doing a virtual or doing a telephone, I'm doing that online. I'm doing an email. I'm doing a text to them to call them. But if I'm going in, I'm going out to my car, I'm going to reach into the glove box, I'm going to pull out a thank you note, I'm going to fill it out in the parking lot and walk it back in and give it to the receptionist and ask them to give it to the team. And I'm going to say, thank you for your time. I'm really excited about this opportunity, however you want to say it. Say, you know, again, you know, I've got X amount under my belt on this. However you want to say it, and prompt for the next step. Looking forward to hearing from you to move on to the next, you know. If you're looking for, hang on. If you're looking for verbiage, here's interview follow-up, this is sample, or just go in and Google it. Depending on the job you were interviewing for and the type of company you were interviewing with, you might get different words here. Okay? You help yourself. It's like it's all there. You get 100 examples easily. Oh, hang on. Is it okay to ask if they can walk us through? Oh, you know, Christina, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, it's like, yes, it's okay to ask that. I mean, I know people that ask, can I come in and observe for an hour or two? You know?
Ask that?
Well, when you get the offer.
Oh, wait till the.
Yeah, you bet. I'm trying to make up my mind. Do you mind if I come in and observe for an hour or two? I want to make sure this feels right, however you phrase it. That's okay too. I like that, but you bet. You know, it's like, and how do you reprioritize when things happen? And give me an example of how you see a person that's successfully doing this job, what they're doing day to day, you know, on a day, 8 to 5 day. Because those are great questions to ask. You bet. So here's the introvert checklist. So I don't walk out the door going, well, where's socks? Because that's me. Because what happens, you get up in the morning, you get dressed, and then you go, oh wow, I'm missing a button. Now I gotta do a different shirt. Oh, now I gotta do different pants and belt. Now I got different shoes, now socks and belt, now I'm stressed. Okay? Lay it all out the night before, unless you got dogs and cats like I do. You don't lay anything out. Okay. Here we are. We understand now we're interviewing from the employer's perspective. They're hiring you based on their needs, not your needs. So, you know, your 22 kids and your $5,000 mortgage doesn't mean a thing to them. Okay? What means something to them is how you match up and they benefit from hiring you. Know their needs and know how you fill them. That's where we're at. Take the employer's perspective. Would I hire me at that job? I constantly remind them they made a mistake. They don't listen. Importance of employer research. We got that, right? This is what we're researching. This is what we need to know for us to make us feel good about this opportunity. What's that? Okay, what are those items? Boom, boom, boom. Did I prove them out? Do I understand them? Did I do the work? And there's so many places that you can go and get help for this. Chat, GPT, Google, there's so many places. What does Stephanie say? Always you can ask questions about the team, you bet. Hopefully you met them though. That's part of it. If you can get in and pick up on all of that, Stephanie, okay. I gotta read you what you're saying.
Okay.
I love Stephanie. Can you ask questions about the team you would be working with? Is the supervisor crazy and is it a guessing game every day to know what mood he is in, the overall vibe that the department has? Yeah, I don't know that you'll get answers to all of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be.
But
honest
I'm gonna
about
give you
that.
I'm gonna give you a little clue what Mike does, okay? This is what Mike does. When I go into LinkedIn on a company and I see it up here and I go to my department and the people that work in my department, It's really interesting because when you do that search, and you see the people that are in there and their job titles, you also get these people that used to work there. Because they put the company's name in their profile, their work history, and you get them. I go in and talk to them. That's where I get the vibe. That's where I find out if the guy's crazy or not. Because I talk to them. And I'm not looking for dirt, I'm just looking for an honest assessment. What did you like about that? Why did you leave? You know, if you can talk about that, you know, it's like, I'm not looking for dirt. Well, I could only go so far, so I had to go outside and go up. Okay, I'm good with that. Or I needed to move, you know, be closer to the company. The company is great, this is really good, but it was just too much going here. So, you know, I'm good with that. I'm just looking for information to help me size up the opportunity. So, yeah, that's the way I do that. I'm not sure if that's the way you want to do it, but that's me. Being an engaging storyteller. If you're an engaging storyteller, you can have my job. Okay? Because that's what this is about. You telling your story. But you got to know your story. All right? You got to honestly know your story. It's an honest assessment of you, especially if we're talking about all this. I did project work, 1099 work, contract work for 8 years. And my resume, if I did a chronological, would be 23 pages long. But I can explain every one of those because while I was looking for the right opportunity, I let people know I'm really picky about who I work for because I'm going to be the face and you got to back up what I'm saying. So I got to understand who you are. And so I took a lot of jobs. Gave me a lot of experience though. Gave me different, you know, as a tech recruiter, I'm learning all about, you know, full stack developers, DevOps people, whatever, right? So it helped me build my portfolio, and this is how you benefit from bringing me on board. All these years of doing all that 1099 work, contracting. Plus, I had my own headhunting for a while. So that's the engaging storyteller, is telling the story of you as it relates to what they're looking for and how you connect. And then the behavioral interviewing, again, is just using the STAR technique as the outline for your answers. Okay? And then understand the different interview formats. If you want to know a little bit more about each one of those that we put up there, just go into Google them. Google them. What are they looking for? When I'm into this and I'm doing a team interview in this setting, you know, it's like, what are they looking for? Help yourself out. Because right now, you're already ahead of 90% of the people out looking for work. Because they're not even getting current information. They just went home when they got laid off, took their chronological resume, moved everything down, stuck in their most recent, said, here you go. And they sent that same resume out to 80 different companies. And then at the end of that month, they went, nobody's gotten a hold of me. Nobody wants me. I have nothing to offer. No, you just got bad data. You needed to make a resume and a cover letter for every individual job you applied for. So instead of doing 80, we do 3, 5 a week, maybe. Okay? And then when you come at the end of the month and nobody got a hold of you, then you go, okay, I'm doing something wrong on my resume. Then you ask for help. Come in, sit in a workshop, listen to Bill. So understand the different formats, ace the in-person, the virtual, and the telephone interviews, all those tips, and then appropriate follow-up. Thank you cards and all of that. So here's our, you can get to all